Rail Agent here, and we're going to follow up an old video I titled Rail Wreckage with Rail Wreckage 2.0. Same map, same side, same kind of bot, I guess. The first one was a rail tank, and I am still using a rail tank. I use lots of other bots, but I like rail tanks because they're tough, and they can take a lot of damage. They can't go as many places as insect leg rails can go, but they can get around a little faster than purebred insect legs, and they can take a lot more damage. So you may be wondering why I have two skis on the back of this, and the reason for that is because Free Jam, for whatever reason, made tank tracks really light right now, and tanks handle really poorly. They don't handle like tanks anymore. They just do all kinds of weird stuff. It's very difficult to describe besides the spinning out. So I put two skis on the back just to see what would happen, and it actually stabilized the tank, and it allows me to do like really quick 180s, like reverse 180. So I've been using this tank for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days like this with the skis on the back, and it actually works. Give it a try sometime if you ever build a tank. Why you would build a tank in the current meta, I don't know, but just give it a try if you do. So as a rail, we're going to shoot aircraft. Aircraft are a high priority target when you're a rail, especially aircraft like that just fly out in the open. They're easy to hit. There are tough ones out there, flying tanks, but most of them are not tough. And there's a lot of copters going around right now because nobody wants to be on the ground with these Tesla shurikens floating around, destroying everything on the ground. So there's a lot more copters than usual. You see a lot of copters because they're easy to build, they're easy to fly, and they're pretty powerful, but there goes one copter down. But I've seen even more since these Tesla builds have taken hold. Luckily, there are none in this match. They can make your life as a tanker pretty much a living hell. I mean, they will constantly target you because they know you can't get away, and if you don't have a blink module, you're probably screwed. Luckily, I have a blink module in this build. So usually when I hear their cloak, I'll locate them, I'll let them get closer, and then I'll blink away. And they'll usually leave me alone for that moment, but they'll keep trying to get me throughout the whole match. And sometimes I can't score anything, hardly, because I'm constantly like having this cat and mouse game with those things. But anyway, as I said, we're targeting air mostly. Ground bots really aren't a huge priority, especially now that medics, dedicated medics, really aren't a thing anymore. If they were, you would want to target medics too, but they're just not common. And to be honest, they're not incredibly helpful anymore unless they have like a shield module and maybe a power module to keep charging their nanos up. The reason I blinked away is because I know that bomber, he's mad, and he was going to fly up and try to hit me with a volley of plasma as soon as he came up over that cliff face there. So I got out, and sure enough, there he was. So a lot of this game is predicting what your enemies are going to do. A lot of them, especially aircraft, they tend to get mad at rails, and they want to make a point, so they will intentionally target you. They will fly through the rest of your team and just suicide rush you is what I call it. They will try to kill you at all costs. Even if they die, they want to kill you to prove that they can, I guess. I don't know what the deal is. They get super salty about it. So as you can see, I was targeting that guy's power module. I like to target high CPU parts like weapons. With this guy, I actually knew I could just blow him up by shooting his back. Usually I would target the chain guns and take him off, but I could just tell by the way that thing was built that all I had to do was shoot his back connectors, and that would be the end of his bot. It would go poof. So that's what I did. I am going to try to help my allies out by shooting off the guns of ground bots, but I'm really not trying to kill ground bots. And there's a lot of air in this match, so I'm constantly switching targets up. I'm looking around. I like to just cripple a target, like in that case, and then let somebody else finish them off. Kills themselves in Battle Arena don't really matter that much. So as a rail, if you're going to play pure rail, first of all, it is a very difficult role to be productive in with Max Loadout. So if you're going to do it, you need to be supporting your team. You do not need to be hunting kills and chasing bots down to get that kill. You can kill them in the air like I'm trying to do with this guy here, and like I have done once or twice already in this match, but that is not your purpose. And if that's what you're doing, you're probably being detrimental to your team. You really need to be de-gunning enemies. You need to be shooting those big guns off, shooting the modules out. You help cripple an enemy, and you let your allies finish them. It's not your job to finish the bots. It's very, very important if you're going to play a rail in pub games, because they're not very viable if you get into something super competitive with platoon versus platoon. They're not that competitive, but they do really, really well in pub games because you have just, you know, a more relaxed environment. People aren't using the meta builds, so it's a lot easier. Or I won't say it's easier, but you can be more of an asset to your team in pub games playing a rail bot like I am, as opposed to more of a competitive scene. So again, aiming for those high value, high CPU parts off of the bots. I like to shoot even thrusters. I mean, not just guns and modules, but any functional part is what you want to aim for, because they have less CPU. They have less armor per CPU is what I'm trying to say. So like you do a lot more damage when you aim for these movement parts. You're killing a lot more CPU a lot more easily than you are if you aim for this big mass of armor cubes. It's such a waste of time with rails to aim for the massive armor cubes. You need to be stripping off guns, movement parts, and even E-plates. Taking off E-plates is a big deal to a lot of builds that rely on E-plates. So bear that in mind too. See, I'm not usually into chasing guys down, but there's nobody here to finish him right off. Now he's getting bombed. Maybe I just didn't see the ally over there, but I also try not to let him like heal and come back, because then you're spending more time crippling them over and over again than you would be spending if you actually just straight up killed them and finished the job. So sometimes it's okay to go ahead and kill a target all the way. I like to kill them in the air, and then if they hit the ground, I typically leave them for allies. And I saw that blink happen just now, and I thought it was an enemy that was coming to get me. But a mistake this enemy team is making here is that I'm doing a lot of damage to them, and they're really not trying to like focus me down. Usually what will happen when I do something like this is that they'll get mad, and sometimes they'll accuse me of cheating in chat. That's not very productive. And other times there'll be 2 or 3 enemies in the air that will focus their plasma fire on me, and there's no way as a railer you're going to beat 3 aircraft unless they are really poorly built. So that's a big mistake this enemy team is making, is they're not dealing with me. Now I'm sure they've got their hands full with the rest of the team, but by the time we get to the end of the match, you're going to see that I dealt the most damage in the entire match. So it would have been beneficial to them to try to get me out of there, especially when we have all 3 towers, because I have to sit through the respawn counter. I can't get a respawn because my allies capture a tower, because we already own them all. So that's a really good time to take out like very, very powerful or effective enemies. So what we're going to do here now is, I know we've almost got this core, but they got their shield back up. I want to move in and finish this match off, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move in, and I'm going to use my rails to finish the match. And there we have it. Got to level up. This is my alt account. I've got a main account that's been level 150 since long before crates were even a thing. So there it is. Most damage. Didn't get top score, because top score usually goes to the guy that captures the most towers. So hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.